Now we deal with the implementation of the licensing requirement. Now, implementing licensing requirement and following the procedures could be major barriers to both the participant, that's the applicant, and the regulator. Because if licensing procedures are not properly followed, if the licensing requirements are not appropriately implemented, it will constitute a very major barrier to be extremely difficult for the inclusive market participant to use it, to be able to prepare and file the applications, and it's going to be equally complex for the supervisor to review and assess these applications within reasonable time and grant licenses. Therefore, steps need to be taken to ensure that these challenges are dealt with. Two main things that um, stand out clearly and can be pointed out. Two main recommendations that we can have in this direction. So licensing requirements and procedures must be well designed, clearly communicated, and appropriately implemented or applied so that we don't create barriers, no straitjacket. We need to design them well, think well through them, and communicate them clearly in writing or in explaining it to applicants. And when we are applying the requirement, we need to be flexible and look at the peculiarities on the ground so that we don't create straitjacket, we don't create barriers. The other thing we can do to deal with the challenge that comes with the complications of the licensing procedures and the requirement is to provide useful guidance to applicants and to the inclusive insurance market participants. Useful guidance can be in respect of various issues. So, for example, for an application, there could be guidance as to what is required and how they could be put together, the documents that are needed, where they could be obtained, the form they must take, who and who must sign it, and the information that is needed to be contained therein. That is extremely important to be clear on those. If it comes to something like a business plan, we need also to have guidance, even for the inclusive insurance participant. What exactly do we want covered in the business plan? Which aspects should be covered? Which details need to stand out? Where possible, we need to provide format of information, especially where we require projections and forecasts, and also expectations on management and controls. We need to provide exactly or communicate exactly what we need to find in the business plan to be able to assess them. Right.